Man United, we're not done with them yet. I want to be. But we have a cup final to play tomorrow against Man City, against Pep, the guy that can't be beaten, apparently. Before we Dan, okay, Dan, before we go to Staffy, Dan, have you got any neutral ray of hope for us? Some outside
No.
thinking. Can Man United win the FA Cup?
You know what? I said in the group chat when Staffy was like, "Oh yeah, we need to have this big deep dive analysis into the game," and it's like,
hold on, I said we'll just talk about it in depth on the
yeah,
show.
in length. What length is there? Like really and truly, this is. It's not just Man United and Man City, and you can't beat them because they're Man City. You're Man United. We've just spoke at length about all of the problems. I've sat here and heard you both trash Eric Ten Hag and the job he has done this season, and you want slivers of hope. You want me to sit there and go, oh, but despite it all, the only hope is that little bit of just Man United shithousery and hope that Man City are hungover enough for their celebrations of the 4P. But at the end of the day, now I give you no hope. I was, before this Ten Hag news, I thought, you know what, I could kind of see it. Do you know what I mean? Written there. But like I said, I think if he knows he's going, players know he's going, it's just a formality at this point. Like, there's no point us sitting there going, oh, well, if he plays this system and, he puts Casemiro from centre back into midfield, there's no point. There's just no point. It's done. It's over. They are going to ruin you, and it's going to be an embarrassing final. Simple as. So you can sit there and break the tactics and all of this. You don't rate this man. You do not rate Eric Ten Hag. And I don't know about you. Well, Staffy seems to think another manager could do well with these players, but you don't rate the players under Eric Ten Hag, and most of the people don't rate your players. So what are we really analyzing? Come on.
I don't think the game is going to be a 3-0 like most people say, because I just don't think finals ever end up being high scoring anyways. Like, it's rare occasions when you actually see a lot of goals in finals, even last year. And that City team last year was absolutely amazing. And they still didn't win 3-0. You can argue that we're worse than last year, so I understand that. But I don't think it's going to be a blow up at all. I understand that we're not favorites. I understand that we should lose, and I will not disagree with that. I could give us a scenario where we could win. I just don't know if it could happen or not. At the end of the day, KJ, it is a cup final, and I don't want us to lose. And I know there's many times where I predicted a loss this season, and it actually happened. And I've been called negative, and I've been called a Debbie Downer and a negative Nancy and all that stuff. People call me a buzzkill. I was like, what buzz did we even have all season for me to kill it? There's been no buzz for me to kill. It's been dead. But I actually do see a way that we could win this game. To me, first and for all, we definitely got to play this game in phases. And I know people hate the word phases, but you can use it in terms of the game, not projects and all that. That's a different thing, because all elite managers do that anyways. They play games in parts. There's a first half, there's a second half, and they play in phases anyways. The most important thing to me is, in the game, don't concede in the first half. In the last 3 games that we played, we've looked a little bit better. You can argue that Brighton win was a little bit dodgy because we didn't look that good, and in the second half we took our chances. Yes, I hear that. We looked good against Newcastle, even though we leaked a couple goals. It was a screamer, to be fair, from Lewis Hall and all that. And even against Arsenal, who play very similar to City, we managed to do well against their midfield. Now, I'm not saying by any means are we going to dominate their midfield? Are we going to nullify their midfield? That's not what I'm saying at all. But based on what I saw the last 3 games, if we played this game basically 3 weeks ago, I would 100% told you it's a blowout. Yeah, easy 3-0. But 3 weeks later, I actually do give us a better chance. We have players back from injury, so Varane is going to play. Lissandro's going to play. Obviously, Dalot's been there, and he's been doing well. Everyone beside I see that he can do a job on Doku. If he plays him on whatever side Doku's on, keep everyone beside far away from Foden. Because if he has Foden on him, he's absolutely going to kill him. Don't let Foden play anywhere near everyone Bissaka. He killed him in that 3-1 game that we played. The midfield, and I'm going to say this again, Casemiro, I don't want to see him on the pitch. Put this guy on the bench, maybe bring him on in the second half as an impact sub, but that's about it. Run that pivot again of Amrabat, Mainu, and let Bruno play in the 10. because that midfield has been our best midfield in the last few games, and it's actually worked a little bit. It's not the best thing you could put out there, but it's the best thing we could put right now as we're in. I guess the biggest questions would be who plays in the front line, because McTominay has been playing in the false nine, him and Bruno doing this false 9-10 gimmick, which, not gonna lie, didn't result to a lot of goals. But off the ball, it will be decent to keep up with the City team. And Rashford being back, here's how I'm looking at it: Rashford, Hoyland, don't start. Come on in the second half. I don't want them to play against the City back line for 90 minutes. I want them to come on in the second half. If you bring him on for 30 minutes and you're still in the game, I think you can manage somehow to win this game. Or if you're down 1 goal, you might bring one back. That will be your best chance. That's what I think. So that midfield, that back line, obviously I said Varane and Martinez being back and all that. And then you get options off the bench now, because we haven't had options off the bench for a while. So the fact that I could sit here and say bring on Hoyland, Rashford, and Casemiro off the bench, that's better than anything we've had recently. And listen, Ahmad has been doing his thing. He's good. I hope he starts again. I don't see any scenario where he shouldn't start. So we keep him. And as I said, don't concede in the first half. Make changes in the second half to try to hit them on the counter and go against some tired legs. And listen, if that midfield can stay as strong as they've been in the last few games, then, I'll give us a chance that we don't concede in the first half. But there's a lot of luck involved as well, because Foden has been amazing. De Bruyne, obviously, I don't need to talk about him. Doku actually cooked in the last game against West Ham. Dan, you saw that yourself. Haaland, don't need to speak about him. He scored a hat-trick against us before, so he could do it again. Their midfield is amazing. Their backline has been amazing. Even Ederson being out, by the way, doesn't really faze me, because Ortega is very, very good. And he actually played against us in the FA Cup final last season. So all these things being put together, obviously they're the favorites. And by no means am I going to say that we have a solid chance to beat them. But anything happens in football. Anything happens in a derby, and definitely anything happens in an FA Cup final in Wembley. So these players, I understand that the news going on with Ten Hag or whatever, but if this is his last game and they actually want to play for him, go ahead, play for him, give your best for 90 minutes. And if he gets sacked and you're upset with it, at least he's leaving with a trophy, And most of these guys are playing for their future anyways. So go ahead and win a trophy and tell Ineos why you deserve to be here next year,
Yeah, I agree. I don't see us winning this game. I personally, I'm going to be watching the game just to watch Man United's final game of the season. Like I'm right, it's a write-off for me. From the moment I saw Man City beat Chelsea, I was like, yeah, okay, the FA Cup's done. We just go out there, play our best. The result is the result. And then I'm more excited and more looking forward to seeing how we now deal with this aftermath of the Den Hag stuff, the manager stuff, the player stuff. That's all I'm really looking forward to. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. So
there's no
Saturday
hype going into this, KJ. Like, do you know what? I just realized I'm not seeing, usually for an FA Cup final, this is a derby, a Manchester derby FA Cup final. You think they would be talking about getting hyped, but because it seems like such a foregone conclusion, it's like no one cares about this FA Cup final. Like, it's just no hype for it at all.
And it's a shame because the FA Cup's so special. Like, it's one of the best cup competitions in the world. And to have it in this state, and I do blame Man United. We're the reason why it's not being hyped up, because we're crap. If we was good, say if we were Arsenal, like, as good as Arsenal, and we can actually challenge City, this again, everyone will be talking about it. It's previews all over the place. The writers will have a field day with this game because everyone knows we suck. And Ten Hag is about on the door. That's the only thing we want to talk about. So I just want to get this game over and done with. The only way I can see us winning is if Sir Jim goes into that dressing room and tells them, look, you see this man in front of you, Ten Hag, this is his last game for us. And if you guys don't play with your hearts, it'll be your last game too. You know what I'm saying? And literally, that's the only way I can see us potentially getting anything.
Could you imagine that if you're Ten Hag, like this guy? He did that.
He's like, you already done me in the newspapers. Now you're doing me in the changing room. Like,
man. Imagine they point at him like, see this guy right here. This guy's you want to be like him? You want to be here? And then they point at you want to be like him?
Or that's what when you like get in trouble with your like siblings or friends, and then one person gets caught, and then they're just the teacher or your parents are like, you see him? He's in trouble. Yeah. Because of you might want to be in trouble too, like him, and you just there. It's like, no, mom, no, okay. That is basically what I want the players to feel: the fear of a mother. But yes, finally, guys, let us know in the comments what you think the score will be. Someone's saying 7-0. I don't know if that's in relation to the Liverpool game or this game coming up, but let us know what your score predictions will be. Staffy, quick one. What's your score prediction for the game?
I'm hoping to go to penalties, and I think that's the only. I don't see us in any scenario beating City in the 90 minutes. There's extra time, right? Or does it go straight to penalties?
No, extra time. Extra time.
Okay, yeah, I don't see us honestly in any scenario beating them in regular time or extra time, but I am praying that we take them to penalties because that's probably our best chance. And I don't want to predict a loss on a final.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I predicted too many losses this season. Let me predict one last win. So I'm hoping for a penalty shootout win.
Yeah, fair enough. Dan, what are you saying?
3-1 Man City. And even if it does go penalties, Man United will win on penalties. If some miraculous way Man United hang on through 90 minutes of normal time and then 30 minutes of extra time, if they hang on for all that time, 2 hours, and get to penalties, Man United is still going to win. But it's not going to get that far. It's not going to even get to extra time. It's going to be 3-1 Man City.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with a dirty 1-0. I reckon they would embarrass us by just passing the ball around so much. When they beat us 2-0 at Old Trafford like 2 years ago, yeah, that hurt. I feel like they'll just do that again. I think they might just pass us to
Sometimes it's worse than getting bad when they just take there and they just chill and go, yeah, we don't need to.
Yeah, they'll get one goal and be like, you know what? Yeah, screw it. I'm not exerting myself. I want to party. Like, they'll focus more on partying than actually playing against us. That's what they're thinking. I want to party and not be tired, so let me not do this. Okay, but yes, guys, that is the Man United stuff out the way and done. Ten Hag looking like it's getting sacked. Man United looking like they're going to lose the FA Cup final. I know the football gods are a thing, but the football gods won't even save us. You know what I mean? That's how bad we are right now. It's not happening. So yes, guys, we've got some more super chats. Then we're going to move on to the next section. Players won't show up, and it's a matter of how much. Erik ten Hag needs to stay, and I doubt they will be a clear out. We losing tomorrow. That's from Tony.
And so he said it's a matter of how much, but then he's saying the manager needs to stay. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. People's the opinions are their own. Uncle Mad says Staffy, he quote unquote, I'll be called a genius by the end of the season when Basuma is seen as a world class. The clip is on TFT. I've come to revisit. Staffy, are you a genius?
First of all, stop lying, Uncle Matt. Secondly, I live rent free in your head. If you came back a season later to revisit something, I said I think Basuma's world class, and he will prove it or not by the end of the season. Clearly, he didn't. I don't know why we still talk about that. Can we talk about all the other takes? When I said United will not compete, when I said Casemiro needs to be sold, when I said so many other things, why did this one keep getting revisited? Oh, wait, I'll tell you why, Uncle Matt, because it's one of the few ones that I got wrong. But it's okay, bro. It's okay. I'm glad that that's how you chose to spend your $4.99 is to revisit something and misquote me. Thank you so much.